church's individual members are equipped for their role of service within the church and community, including the release and training of those called to translocal ministry.
Serving God is not simply church services, it's not only within the church community, but that like the bow goes over the wall, it says about Joseph, and the church should be very involved in the culture. We begin to invade the culture more and more, and when one thinks of people like Wilberforce, and sometimes in Africa, in South America, we hear about huge churches, and then you think, but the culture is very corrupt. Why is the culture not changed when the churches are so big? And you need that extra wave. You need people like Shaftesbury, like Wilberforce, that this nation has hugely benefited from. On the back of the Wesleyan revival, guys began to penetrate the culture and be salt and light in the world. We need people being equipped for that as well. And so I'm glad we're putting on conferences, and local churches can look for and cultivate, encourage people into being local counsellors and seeing what it is to be a teacher in the name of Jesus, what it is to be an entrepreneurial businessman for Jesus' sake, and not just think, well, I'm a businessman, then I go to this church. When I think of what some businessmen are helping us to do in opening up church planting in Japan and elsewhere, because as businessmen, they are just involved with us around the nations. There's a great guy who went to be in Sydney, Australia, because Steve Brading gave him a prophetic word. And then I said to him, would you open in Dubai? He said, yeah, of course. And he looked into it. Now he's opened an office in Dubai. Because as a businessman, he's highly involved in the advance of the gospel. He doesn't say, well, that's my secular thing, then I go to church on Sundays. He's saying, no, my life is for God. I am a very good entrepreneurial businessman. And others could be in the arts. When you think of how culture is shaped by the arts, to get brilliant writers, producers, infiltrating the culture, we need that so much.
Obviously, a church leader may or may not have much experience or strength in these various areas of quality arts and business. How does a church leader who feels no experience in those spheres help to equip people who live in those spheres?
I think it's great for us as a family of churches to find that we can draw resources from one another. And it's true that a number of churches won't necessarily have expertise in certain realms. It may actually be that a small church has got a very gifted guy who could serve more widely. And so I think for us as New Frontiers, we can draw different strengths from different places, put on mini conferences and things, and help people to develop their skills and gifts. I think it's a great thing. David Fellingham here in Brighton has often put on orchestral concerts. He's often invited real skilled musicians from other places to fill out the orchestra. We can do things together. Why not?
I suppose there's also the sense in which the Protestant work ethic that came off the back of the Reformation, that just the teaching of the value of the workplace and the value of what people are doing 9 to 5. Is it helpful for preachers to labour that, and how strongly do you think that should feature in preaching?
I think that sometimes our preaching does not sufficiently bring application into that world, and I think that the man in the workplace might often feel that the preaching is simply about morality and running the church. And I think that to really expand our application into all kinds of outworkings in the workplace, in the family, is very, very important. And certainly if you take the New Testament as your instruction, you'll find again and again the application is right out there into the world.